Well, hello, and welcome back to Gearhead Geeks, where in this video we are going to finalize our little Yamaha Mini Enduro JT1. We're going to give it a ride. We'll just go out and get this thing completely done so it's ready for prime time. So stay tuned and we will get to it. Well, it's time to start working on the front end of our little Yamaha. So I need to get the front end off. So let's try something stupid. I'm going to, instead of backing it down and being smart about it and then rolling it back up, we're going to take this, we're going to strap it, we're going to lift it up in the air and flip it around. So stay tuned for something bad to happen. And here we go. Like I said, something stupid. So, so far so good. A little bit on the wonky side. This probably isn't the heck with it. Just flip it around. Get this guy into the back. Boom. And we will drop it down for a moment. Then I'm going to take, we'll strap it into the back. I've got a different idea. Back here. Okay, we got the back strapped down. And there's the front end. Oh yeah, that worked. Cool. So anyway, our little front end's up in the air. And it swings around a little bit, but we're okay. What we need to do here is get this guy loose, get all this stuff loosened up and out of here. And nasty. And we'll use our 17s up here. And even though those washers are supposed to come right out, they're just kind of welded in place. Let's see if we can't get this to come out through all the rust and all the other stuff, but we'll get it. Maybe. How about this guy? I'll pop this loose. Okay. We will pull this, we're going to pull all this off, get this all repainted, get all these guys cleaned up and nice. Yeah, got new levers on it. We'll get those handlebars looking new again. Now, while we're here, let's just get this guy off. And get the top right off. Have any in here? No, we don't have it in there. Let's see what we got here. I think I'll grab a strong magnet and just grab those up that way. This is a really strong magnet, so you can grab up the whole shoot match. We're you don't need to strip down the whole frame or anything like that. We're just gonna get all the dirt off of this. Use a little bit of this spray away, and spray away glass cleaner is good stuff, and a lot of paint shops use it for the final prep on when they go to paint something. So best thing to do is just go ahead and take their cue. It all seems to be in pretty good shape up in here actually. It's just not as nasty as the rest of the bike. A little paint tape on this. that rust out of there. So I have repainted all this and got the bearing races all beautiful and new looking again. Here's the upper race, new and beautiful. The bottom lower race is all cleaned up and nice, and our top race this thing was just terrible. It was just looking gray and horrible. Get a little bit of our aluminum brightener on it, and it looks brand new again. So we are ready to go in. These bearings, there's 22 bearings in each race. So all that we have to do is we're going to take some grease in here, which I've scooped out on the, and we just need to pack in the grease so that it will hold on to the bearings. And it's just that simple. More. Okay. And then all that you need to do is just start taking bearings and putting them in. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And if you look in there, they just fit. There's just almost no gap in there. There's just a tiny bit of gap. If you put them all together, you might have room for one more bearing, and that's too many. So this is what's going to go up in the frame. This is all cleaned out and beautiful. Just like brand new inside. That's the good part about a little tiny bike. Even though this thing has probably been beat to death in many, many respects, these bearings and whatnot, they don't take any real abuse because there's no real weight on them. So we take this, I can put this in here. Okay, and we can take our race, put that in there. This guy here, put that on there. I think this guy goes this way. And we will put this on. Okay, so this is a little tight, and then we just back it off just enough to where it's free. And voila, done. So we've got our little triple tree all painted up and nice. It's ready to go on. I have gone on ahead and polished up the, if I can find it, the top for it. Guy goes here. A little fork for almost over the plan fine. Ready to go. They're all cleaned up. Everybody's nice. And it is looking pretty good. We got some bolts and nuts and bolts to clean up, and then we can get started on our front forks. Okay, so it's time for a little bit of fork tube cleanup. These aren't really bad, but they're not great. So I'm going to take a little bit of 3000 grit sandpaper. We're going to turn on our lathe, and we're just going to work on these fork tubes. So our little fork tubes are all painted up and pretty much ready for reassembly. These forks are really, really easy. There's no damping rods or anything in it. The one side, which is the side that doesn't latch onto the brake, it's really easy. There's no spring, there's no nothing. You just take it and you slide the fork tube in and take this guy, slide him on and in, a little tight. Okay, and that's all there is to that, and then we'll put oil in it. But I have gone on ahead and put in new fork seals. The other ones came out in pieces. They were pretty much rusted in there, and it took a bit of doing. But anyway, so we got nice new fork seals on it. And so the little guy won't leak. And we'll wind these guys on. Make sure that the little washer is flat in there. So the best thing to do with that, because you kind of have to put it on this way, and then you put it in this way. Okay, now that it's flat, and we know that, then we can take our little fork tube and we'll put this in, and that will keep everything together. Now we can go on ahead and put this together just like the other one. Throw this on there, put this in there, and there's a little bit of spring tension, which is what it's supposed to have. We'll put our fork seal in and push down on it a little bit, wind it in, and we use something called soft grip pliers to do this with. Little Blue Point soft grip pliers, and just take it and grab it and give it a turn, and it's tight. Okay, so now we can slide on our little fork boots. Get those in place. And the other one. Everything all nice and clean and fresh. Fresh new fork seals. We're going to get through this little guy. Good. It's all nice. Okay. So this guy goes on here. On the left side is the one without the front brake stay. Get that pushed in. We'll be putting oil in this later, but I just need to get these forks in place so we can get everything all tightened up. And then what we can do is, once we're ready, we can then put some fork oil in this thing. And there's that. Slides together and everything's aligned and nice. The one thing you do want to do is you want to take these, and there's a little kind of a casting mark here. You want to put that front to back, I guess, to make it look good. And same thing with this guy. And then these are 14 millimeters. We'll wind those in. And our fork will be done. We have a 14 millimeter wrench. Same with this side. And we have got a set of forks that are all nice and clean and beautiful. Everything is cleaned up, fresh fork seals, and our front end will be going together. We just got to do a little cleanup on our brake and our front wheel. We'll plop that back in, and we are closing in on this thing. So now that we've got our front end basically all put together. Our forks have been rebuilt, and we still have to put oil in. We need to start on the front wheel so we get this front end back together. So this front wheel is not pretty. The surface of it, I don't know if the camera can pick it up. I'll try and get an angle here, but it isn't pretty. It's the clear coat has turned to dust. So what I'm going to do here is we're just going to use an angle grinder with a felt pad on it. And that felt pad, I'm going to use some of these polishing sticks, and there are different textures on these sticks. This is a fairly aggressive one, so we'll put some polish on there, and then we'll cut through that paint, and we'll just polish the thing up so it looks good. Okay. We're going ahead and put some of this on there. And our little hub is looking very, very good. We'll take this guy. All that we need to do is get this guy kind of aimed in the right direction. There, maybe. Go in there. There we go. And we have a front wheel. Need to clean up this nut. And heading back into stupidity again. Let's see if we can't get this thing back up in the air and turn back around to where we can work on it again. All right, so here we go. Back up in the air. I think. without making too big of a disaster. Okay. Not terrible. Alright. Now, just drop that on the ground, and we're back. Good. So having failed completely to find a front fender for this thing, I've taken a rear fender, which is in really terrible shape, and I cut it and reshaped it so that it is a front fender. It's pretty much exactly the same length. There's a little extra bracing in here, which isn't going to hurt. So this guy's going to get painted up and made beautiful. And I've got the front mounting bracket. I'm not sure if I'm going to weld it or if I'm going to just put screws in it, but this should work out just fine. Not looking too bad. So now we're going to go mount on it, so we can get it mounted to the bike, and then we'll paint it white, and then we'll put our little red stripe on it, and we'll have a front fender. And here's our mount, and it goes about like that. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to drill some holes in here. We'll drill some holes to match. We'll bolt it down, and that way, if ever we get a proper front fender and the mount is bad, I can always go on ahead and unbolt it and weld it in. But we're just going to bolt this guy in. And for a 6mm tap, use a number 10 drill, and looks good. Terrible. All right. We're looking pretty good here. And our little mount will go like this. And the holes line up perfectly. So I threw a couple bolts at this thing, and as you can see, it's got the right proportions on it. It's perfectly centered. You look right over the top, you're dead centered over the tire. So we're going to get a coat of white paint on this bad boy, and it'll be ready for a red stripe. So after a coat of white and some taping and some red paint, just like the rear fender, we've got this thing looking good. And now I just need to go on ahead and mount the bracket. And I've already pre-drilled the holes, so we're just going to go on ahead and put our bolts in it, and then we'll go mount it onto the bike. So now it's just a matter of just mounting this guy onto the bike. There's 3 little bolts. So we'll put it in, get it in place, and put in the little bolts, tighten them down, and this guy will be good to go. And we'll get this last little guy tightened down, and we will be done with the front fender. And there you have it. One nicely fresh painted fender all mounted up. Looks just like stock. All straight and nice. So I have gone on ahead and I've put on the air filter. It's all done. I welded up a little bracket here. So everything is all cleaned up and nice in here. I've got the petcock hooked up. Just a little bit of cleaning up here and there. Throw some emblems on it, and everything else is basically done, and it's looking pretty good. Oh, look. This is a preview of another project. We got a rebuild going on that, or a restoration of this engine. And I bet you can't guess what kind of engine that is. Anyway, so our little bike here, some of these dirty rags out of the way, is looking pretty darn good. I've worked on this cover. It's still a little lumpy, but it's almost gotten smooth. It was completely smashed. And shifting's all good. Kickstand is all good. I went on ahead and I put fork oil in. I lost the footage where I did that, which is not that interesting. But in the left-hand fork, it takes 120 cc's, and in the right-hand fork, it takes 97 cc's. So you can just jot that down for future information. Clutch is all perfect. Front brake is perfect. This silencer worked out great. It looks cool. It sounds much better than it did before. So this thing is pretty much almost ready to ride. And it's looking pretty darn good. It needs a little bit of polishing and whatever, but we got the rubber pieces in the fender. Grips are good. Put new end caps on everything so that they're a little more durable. Kill button works. It's in good shape. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's just go on ahead and start it. Now this is cold. This hasn't been started for forever. So I'm going to turn it to reserve. And I actually had my little bottle full of gas in there and I just dumped it into the tank. And so we'll go ahead and choke it. Okay, pull up the little choke lever. Let it hang up there. And, all right, again, this thing has not been run for weeks. Okay. Perfect. Ooh, that's so good. I've got castor oil in here. Oh, it smells so good. So, next trick is we're going to be going on ahead and riding it. Okay, so let's get this little guy turned around. And I got just enough gas to go a small distance. May have to drag this thing around a little bit. Ow. All right. We got it. Now, oops, I guess I could open the garage door. Okay, I'm not sure about my camera angle, but we'll see. Alright, turn this thing on to reserve. And here we go. First ride. It's a warm day. Warm and nice. A little breezy. Nice. That's pretty darn good.
touchy, a little touchy, but no, that's the precision adjustment, and it's all good to go. Nice.
Well, that just about does it for our little Yamaha Mini Enduro JT1. We got it running, we rode it, it works perfectly, it looks good, everything is ready to go. All we need to do is just enjoy it. So, thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Gearhead Geeks.